Rematch of last year's Pac-12 championship game. Number 5 UCLA heading to Palo Alto to face a Stanford team that plummeted 8 spots in the AP poll after falling to unranked Utah last week. Our Bruins insider JJ Stokes joining us now. JJ, when we were talking to you earlier, you had mentioned how impressed you were with this team winning despite not being 100% or when things weren't going exactly right. Is there a game this year you can pick that you think best exemplifies that?
Well, one game that really stands out to me is the game against Nebraska. They started off slow. There were some emotional things going on with Nick Pasquale, a former teammate who passed, and I think there was a lot of emotions going on with that game. But they were never in the game emotionally, and then something clicked in that third quarter where they just started to get on the same page and everything as far as the timing went, and that elevated the defense. So when I look at that, I say they haven't had a game where they just have played lights out yet. They've had something going on in each of the games, and they still managed to win.
Yeah, Utah, a great example of that, wound up needing 6 interceptions to beat them just a couple of weeks ago. As far as players, we know Brett Hundley, we know Shaq Evans. On defense, we know about Anthony Barr wreaking havoc. How about a couple of unsung Bruins this season?
You know, especially in games like they have upcoming, you're going to look at some of the guys that aren't the big name guys. And Jordan Payton is a guy that really stands out in my mind. He's a guy that is lights out in the blocking game and can make those big plays. And he has in the past few weeks come up with some big catches for the team. So guys like that are going to have to elevate this team because opposing teams are going to try to take a guy like that away. On the defensive side, you have a guy like Cassius Marsh, a guy whose motor, and when you hear about him, his motor is just there, and that's something you can't coach. A guy whose motor continually goes, an effort guy, but also a smart player.
JJ, Stanford, we know, has not lost back-to-back games since mid-October of 2009. I know you've been talking to some folks this morning. What are you hearing about Jim Mora's approach to this game on Saturday?
Well, they want to be physical, and they have to match Stanford's physicality, and that starts with the offensive and defensive line. So that's where I think the emphasis is this week is winning at the line of scrimmage. I think if you look at the skill position, UCLA actually has the upper hand in the skill position overall, offense and defensively, but it doesn't matter. In the trenches is where the game's won, and I think that's Jim Mora's focus as I speak to a few people down in LA.
And you know where else UCLA is going to have to be rock solid? Special teams. Ty Montgomery has just been a beast as a kick returner for Stanford this year. JJ Stokes, our Bruins insider, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you.